All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikakwadash. Much love to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, God of Gods, my Father in heaven. Much love to his beautiful son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and other names that don't have no power. Much love to the chosen children among Israel, the elect. Only the chosen may make it, as they say, which is true. Much love to you, whoever you are among Israel. Shout out to the prophets, the Akim, the brothers that's in the truth. And they do everything in their power to show you how about Shimon Shah they love and they fear him. And they make sure we get all the information, the proper breakdowns of the Bible. And these brothers, they not from giant camps. You know, these giant camps. They do things on their own, or probably with a couple of more people. Not that big of a group. You know, just small, or probably just on their own. Shout out to the Akwaf, the beautiful women that's in the truth, and whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh. You listen and you learn in silence. Coming back at you with another video. My other video I had to take down and I had to delete because it wasn't enough room, and it was about immortality. It was about immortality and how instead of us living for 100 years, we used to live for like 500 years to 900 years, you know, but they wouldn't allow it to be posted, so I had to wait and give it some time to where they take down whatever restriction, because I put up a reel about, it's just an informational reel, like about their lineage and where they come from, and I guess it made the YouTube people mad or whatever, and they gave me a warning, but I think they kind of like slightly banned my stuff for like a temporary amount of time. They ain't got to show you, and they ain't got to tell you that they did it. They ain't even got to send you a notice. It's just something that they do. They scan your video and they be like, oh, we don't want that to be posted, you know. And I'm all like, man, there's other prophets that's doing everything that they doing, and they posting all kind of stuff, but I post something and it's like a serious problem. Like right now, you know, I don't know, it's just not fair, because it's other people that's doing the same thing I'm doing. So what's so bad about what I'm doing, you know, when it's other prophets and other people doing the same thing, and they stuff is not getting blocked. They posting like it ain't nothing. They posting hour by hour, minute by minute. Me, I post like what, probably like once, twice a week. You know, I'm not as fast as I used to be. I'm not as going hard as I used to be, and I wasn't even all right back in the day. You know, but I still have many videos that went unnoticed. People didn't gravitate. I didn't have no reels, so I had to post these little shorts. I mean, that's what they call it, shorts, to get people to notice. You know, but it's not for no money. Like I said, I don't do this for no money. I don't do it for none of that. I just do it because I believe in Yahweh Shem Shai. I do it to help and spread the word, and that's it. You know, no negativity. I even took out the cuss words out of my videos, and it's still a problem. So I don't know. These people is just doing whatever they can to suppress whatever they can. You know, they don't want it all to get out, but it's getting out one way or the other. But I just feel like, you know, it's not fair, because other people doing what they doing, and they going hard on my little videos, and my little videos is like low budget. So, you know, for anybody that get this, if they get it, then this was the message. But if not, then I gotta keep on I gotta wait a little bit longer to post some more videos, because they slightly shadow ban. Like, you can know when you shadow ban when it takes too long for your videos to load, and they don't load, and or they take a double time to load. So after a load, they give it like 100. You got to go through another 100% of loading, and then at the end of the day, when you least check it, it don't load. You know, so you know, you gotta look out for stuff like that. That's what I look out for. But I'm gonna keep trying the best. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep trying to the best of my abilities to do what I gotta do. You know, it's not like I'm not trying. It's just that, you know, with no channel and me just doing it out here on my own, it's like I'm barely reaching people as it is. People don't want to listen to this, so it's like maybe I could reach people on the internet, you know, and it's hard to do that because you got the white man constantly in the way, sensitizing everything, blocking everything, hiding everything, you know, stepping on you, like stepping on a flower, even when it got its chance to grow, you know, not allowing certain things to come through, always complaining about stuff when this, like I said, it's criminals that run this place. Like, there's nothing worse than the person that's arresting you, the people that pay him are criminals. That's just crazy, man. You got criminals controlling the world. You got these these people that's on top of Yahweh Shem Shai most wanted list. The Lord hate these people the most, and these is nothing but criminals they sell over here. Like they said, it's not okay for us to talk about them, but it's okay for them to talk about us. You know how they ridicule the Israelites, make fun of them, you know, embarrass them. You know, they complain to Yahweh Shem Shai about our flaws, you know, about our mistakes, about our violence, you know, our problems, our addiction. They go and make fun of us day and night. This is type of things that they do. You know, they make fun of us day and night, night and day. Like, it never stops. They're doing everything in their power to try and take our place, which is it's impossible. It's impossible for a beast to take the place of the angels. It's levels to this. It's rankings, and the levels don't change. You cannot move up. You cannot upgrade. It might feel like you upgrading and you at the top of the world, but in the spiritual realm, you actually the lowest and in the lowest state. You know. You understand, and it never changes. You are who you are in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai, and in the world, these beasts might be at the top of the food chain right now, but in the spiritual world, they the lowest of the low. You know, they're the lowest of the low, and their desire is to move up to our state, which we belong to Yahweh Shem Shai, which is the highest. You know, so and that's never going to happen. So, you know, if you guys don't get this video, then I tried, and I'm just gonna keep on trying to post until they take that thing off or whatever it is, because I know when I'm being shadow banned, I know when my videos are being suppressed, and they're not bad videos, they just informative videos. That's all that they are. That's all that they are, is informative videos. But I can't post certain things, certain things that I get off other apps. I can't post them. They tripping, they flipping. Like, you know, you gotta hate these guys, man. You do. You have to hate them. But it's okay for them to allow, you know, blackface. It's okay for them to allow they people to, you know, have racial slurs. You know, say what they want to say. You know, do whatever they want to do. You know, put on debates about how much they hate the Israelites and all kind of things. Like they let them do all kind of things, but they come and they immediately jump and desensitize. When it comes to information, when it comes to them standing up for themselves, all kind of shit, especially on my part, because that's how I feel. Every time I try to post something, they all on me. It's like stomping the fire out before it start blazing. They trying to stoke these fires out before they start blazing, you know, before they gain traction. Or they slowing it down to the point to where I'm gaining traction, but it's slow. It's so slow to the point to where they think I'm gonna give up, but I can't give up and I won't give up. So today's title is Visitation. And visitation is about Yahweh Shem Shai coming to visit everybody on his own time. And everybody is being visited in their own way. You know, in his own way. He coming to visit everybody. I had a dream yesterday. And it was about me just living a typical life in the dream weird. Me roaming around with some other kid and some white man, and me and a white guy got into a debate, and in the middle of a storm, and we was on our way to the store, and out of nowhere the lightning struck and hit the ground between us. It was me, another little kid, and this white dude, and we was talking about it, and just debating over it, and the next thing you know, the lightning struck again and hit the ground again. And then the lightning hit the ground a third time. And then the third time, you know, it scared everybody in the dream. And then I think the lightning hit somebody and it took somebody. I don't know, the dream be obscure, but, you know, most importantly, is I know the ways that Yahweh will try to reach people in dreams. He can come by storm. He can come by He can come by the chariots. You can see chariots in your dreams. You know, he can come by thunder. Thunder is one of the ways that he speaks in these dreams. In these dreams, he can speak by thunder, according in the stories of the Bible. I do believe when Moses got when Moses got the 10 Commandments, I do believe, from what I remember, he was speaking to Yahweh Shem outside, and the Lord was speaking through the thunder, and people, all they heard was violence, and they heard thunder. And when Yahweh, when I think his name Moses. When Moses was speaking to him, he was speaking in plain Hebrew, and they can understand him, but the rest of the Israelites couldn't understand him. You know, and it wasn't meant for them to understand. But what they heard was violent lightning, and crackling and thundering. But what the prophets heard was him speaking proper Hebrew. So, you know, lightning is one of those things that Yahweh can speak through. And it is he got many versatile ways of contacting you. You know, he can give you obscure dreams. He can send angels to you in dreams, all kind of stuff. But from my experience, that's what I had, was these what I heard: deep voices, dark clouds, thunder, and then it's another one. He can come through scriptures. He can come through scriptures too. He can come through scriptures. You know, you can find yourself reciting scriptures that you barely even remember in your dreams. You know, and it's Yahweh Shem Yahushua sending you messages and different signs. He can come in obscure. He can come in the form of an angel in your dreams. Like it's all kind of stuff. But the most importantly of the fact is that he visits. That's the whole point. He does visit. He does check on you. He does just come to see how you're doing. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, especially for the ones that do believe, he do care. So we gonna get some of these Bible scriptures out real quick. But for those of them that don't care, for those of them that choose not to be aware, or, you know, they don't acknowledge Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, when he visits them in the time of when the visitation is the actual, he visiting everybody all at the same time, that's when they gonna have problems, and they gonna have to deal with whatever the Lord got coming to them, you know. So let me go ahead and get some Bible scriptures real quick. Sometimes it be rare. But out of everything, he'll come and he will visit you in his own way. I had him visit me through tornadoes. Yeah, as scary as that is, tornadoes, and the tornadoes was mumbling something in my dream, and they was trying to suck me up in all of that, it was just a dream, but at the same time, it was so terrifying in the dream. Like, it was like a number of tornadoes, and I was stuck in like a field of tornadoes trying to get away, and and one of the tornadoes was chasing me. It was weird. It was weird, but that's how the Lord he can get in contact. Sometimes it be scary, and sometimes it's pleasant, and sometimes it can be, well, it can be scary. That's all I can say. Damn, it's surprisingly hot. I don't even know why I'm wearing this jacket out here. It's good weather. It ain't gonna say it's cloudy. It's gonna be cloudy. These ain't clouds. It's just an overcast. Nonetheless, you know. Okay, so we on Esdras, second book of Esdras, chapter 9. That's the Apocrypha. It says, he answered me. It says, second book of Esdras, chapter 9. It says, he answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest the parts of the signs which I have told thee before. So, you know, according to the Bible, it's certain signs and certain events that have to take place, whether it be 1,000 years ago or whether it be close to the main events now. They all had signs, they all had prophecies that was supposed to all take place, and they did. But if in order for you, because nobody knows the hour, the time, and the day that Yahweh Hashem outside is going to decide to strike against his enemy. So, but the Lord says, measure the time, what do you say? Measure thou the time diligently in itself. So you gotta go according to the events of the Bible. There's certain events in the Bible that's taking place right now that you got to keep track of. That is actually happening in real time. The Bible is like a clock, you know, especially for the enemy. The Bible is like a clock, and its clock is ticking all the way down to zero. That, you know, they so afraid of Yahweh Shem outside. They made a doomsday clock, and the doomsday clock is about to hit I think the midnight. It's about to hit the 12. And it's getting closer and closer to those times of great destruction, and to that time to where they, you know, violently removed out of rule. So the enemy is tracking this time clock, and he's tracking these prophecies and these different events, and he's measuring his times diligently. And that's how we're supposed to measure our times diligently. Like right now, we got more prophecies coming, but it's going to be that main prophecy, which is the digital ID that we waiting on, the grain of rice under you. Get the grain of rice under your skin, you know, or you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't eat, you can't do nothing in this dystopia society unless you get that, you know. And right now it's a race to 2030. That's where we going to 2030. It ain't far away. We got like 4 or 5 more years. By the time 2030 come, Yahweh willing, if I'm still alive by then, I'll be 38, and Agenda 2030 should be getting set in place. They should be already implementing this grain of rice. Everybody should get the grain of rice so they can buy, eat, and sell and trade. And we should be moving into that dystopian future, because that's when they said a lot of this stuff is going to be already set up. They're already setting up for it right now, like trying to turn all these fast food restaurants into AI programmed restaurants, where they just they don't need the workers anymore. They don't need people anymore. They let the robots buy and sell. You know, they let them make the burgers and all that, and usually pretty much the burgers and all of this stuff is made with harmful chemicals, and it's made with different kind of substances that's not supposed to be in there. You know, when you read the box of the when you read when you read the hot dog, it's not supposed to say different other chemicals. It's supposed to just say, you know, sausage, you know, from the pig, or sausage from hopefully don't eat pig, or sausage from beef from the cow or whatever. It's supposed to just say beef. It's not supposed to say all these other different other chemicals that are poisonous, and it's to preserve it, to make it last longer. No, I don't. It's not supposed to be, you know. They just trying to replace the people with the robots, so they don't have to. Ain't no need for them, but they still want the people to be a part of the this eternal slavery that they haven't set up. So all these people are blind, right? You got all these sheep, you got all these dummies, you got all these people that deny the times that's coming, when it's actually coming to a head. You had them laughing at it 10, 12 years ago. People was laughing at me because I believed in prophecy when I was a kid, talking about, oh, if the world end, I'm gonna give you $100, you know. And actually right now it's actually taking place, and I wasn't wrong. Even when I didn't understand the truth, I wasn't wrong. I did understand Revelation a lot, well, not understand it a lot, but I did believe, that I did know, like, I didn't know the truth when I was younger, but I knew that the world had an ending. That's all I knew. And a lot of people laughed when I said it. A lot of people laughed when I believed it. When I believed it, I remember I was in school and I was talking about it. Then the white man gonna come around and tell me the world ain't gonna end. The world is not gonna end. I don't know what you're talking about and this and that. And other little black kids followed him. Now, I'm gonna be real. Ain't none of this. A lot of the stuff that I be talking about, it's not a lie, bro. A lot of this stuff that I experience ain't no lie. I'm telling you the truth of certain events that happened in my life that compare to, biblical. No, I mean not biblical times, but certain events that had a lot to do with just how wicked and evil these white people can be, especially the white man, especially him. Oh my goodness, he wicked, evil, conniving, gatekeeping, and all other manners of wickedness that this white nigga is. This white man is, man. This white man is. He just came out the cut when I was talking to the kids and gonna tell me, yeah, the world is gonna end. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. I don't believe in that stuff. And the other kids, they was like, yeah, if the world ends, I'll give you $100. And I'm like, well, I'll see you then, But ultimately, before I get off a subject, like I said, measure down the times diligently in itself. So when you see these prophecies and all this taking place, like the red moon, like the crumbling of the economy, the digital ID popping up in certain parts of the world, BRICS nations trying to break away from the American dollar, knowing that it's all a ploy to get everybody to comply to the grain of rice. All of that is in the Bible. All of that is Bible prophecy. So it says, and when thou seest the part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai told us about this, and it happened. That's how we believe. That's how we know. So it says, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. It says, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. It's a lot of these things that a lot of people say, oh, the white man wrote the book, oh, the government wrote it to keep us in line. It's a lot of things that the government can't track. It's a lot of not can't track, but cannot create. They can't make the moon turn red. They can't stop these what they call them UFOs, but they the chariots of the Lord. They can't stop them from entering and exiting the firmament. They call it the firmament. It's just the sky, but it is a firmament, but it's not no flat earth. I don't know. I don't believe in all of that. I believe that the earth is round, and that's just what it is, But they can't stop these. They can't stop these beings from entering and exiting the atmosphere. They can't stop them. They can't control them. They can't tell them they don't have no permission to do this. They can't tell them no permission to do that. They do whatever they want. And that's how you know. It's not the stars is just there for decoration and all that. No, it don't work like that, bro. There's really planets out there. There's really stars out there. It's really different other solar systems out there. It ain't just, the ceiling's going to collapse when Yahweh Shai come and all the stars going to come down. Then we're going to see everything for what it is. No, it don't work like that. Yahweh is coming from heaven. They made these different galaxies, these different star systems, different solar systems. All this exists. This is all real. And they made these different planets. Because if it were not true, then these people wouldn't try to jump from one planet to another. They're trying to find another Earth that hopefully with the right technology in the future they can go and fly to when this world is destroyed. They trying to find somewhere to run. They want to move to Mars. They want to go to Mars. They want to go to other places and try to escape that judgment. And it ain't no escape. The Lord only gonna let them go that far. They might go to Mars. That's pretty much it. Everywhere else in the universe, they don't even know where they're going. There is no compass. There ain't nothing. They just send in these cameras out into the void of space to see what they can find and to see what they can see in heaven. They want to see it, and they want to go find different other places to where they can go, hopefully in the future. And it's not gonna work like that. They got all kinds of movies like that, man. All kinds of movies like Elysium. That movie where they had left the planet and they left everybody down there, and they have built Elysium as a paradise for the elites. Now you got the elites living in heaven and in the sky, and all the poor people living on the ground dying. Hold on. They dying, and and they starving to death, because the earth was, I think the earth died in that movie or whatever, and they starving to death. And the elites had built Elysium in space so they can get away from them, and on the movie Elysium, they had all kinds of technology that they no longer had on the earth, and they had advanced technology. So when you got sick or you had a disease, you could just get rid of that disease, and you could potentially live for longer than what you're supposed to. So in the movie, they had to go up there, break into Elysium with this guy who had the codes to reset the program to allow the poor people from the earth to come in. So he sacrificed his life, put the code in, and rewrote the Elysium code to allow, I think, him and his people to be the commanders of the ship. And they took over the ship, and they allowed all the poor people to come to Elysium to get healed and to have everything, because these monstrous people was hogging everything and was taking everything from the people and keeping it from them. So what's another movie? Pandemonium. Pandemonium is about that. I think they went to war, and this movie was good. They went to war, and I think the war was so devastating in the movie, or something happened to where humanity died off. Humanity was being killed off. Humanity had died, but in their last attempts, the elites had built this big ass this big ship, and this big ship carried the remainder of life itself on there. So as the ship was sailing to the next world, the rest of the human race had died, and they left those elites on the ship. Now it was one elite that was in charge of all of that, and he had a problem. He had a problem. He had this. He went psycho in his first trip. I do believe he had a first trip to this first trip, and it ended in disaster. And he ended up pushing all the ejection pods and killing everybody and killing all life on the ship. And I guess he survived. They took him, reassigned him to the next carrier, and in the next carrier, he had nervous breakdown. He was going crazy. And these people, the longer that they stayed there in deep space, they had it was certain sicknesses and certain radiations that they couldn't protect themselves from. So in the story, they would mutate into cannibals, into monsters, and they was killing each other and killing anybody that woke up and using them as a food source, life source, whatever, while the elites would sleep in them pods. So come to find out, at the end of the movie, they think they still sailing somewhere in space when they had crashed on the new world that whole time, and it was him that was keeping everybody there. So that was just another example of them going into deep space. You can watch Alien. You can watch Predator. I was watching the new Predator. They were sending them cyborgs to different planets, to check out different planets, and these inhospitable planets where they can take resources, or they can either take resources or come and live there. It's crazy, but it's a good movie. But it's plenty of other movies. What's that? Event Horizon. You can watch Event Horizon. That's a good movie, and a very demonic movie. But it's not demonic. But in the eyes, they'll make you think that just like on Independence Day, they'll make you think that when these angels come, that they are rabid aliens that's coming to kill all of mankind. They're coming to destroy the planet. They're coming to enslave mankind. So some of these movies, sci-fi movies, to where the alien is the enemy, actually is vice versa. And the people that's fighting the alien, they the enemies. And these aliens that come from outer space, these angels, they actually the saviors, you know. So they want to program your mind into attacking Yahweh's army when they do come in those due times. So like I said, that's one of the other prophecies started to be so drug out. But I'm gonna continue. It says for like all this that is made in the world would have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So the end is creating itself. So two clues: you got the proxy wars of the so-called quote-unquote WW3 that's appearing across the world with these different problems that America is having, you know, and these different beefs that they won't stay out of and that they funding, you know, different wars like wars in Asia. I do believe, from what I heard, war in Taiwan, war in Venezuela. You know, you got war between Russia and Ukraine. You got wars with I think Iran and Israel still going on, even though they quote unquote told you that they made a peace treaty. I don't believe all that. It's still popping off, and these wars is going to lead up to one big war, and these wars are orchestrated. They orchestrated. So you got the people in their minds. You know, this is all about control. This is all about depopulation. This is all about fear. You know, this is all about them having more power, and you know, they condition, especially the people that's in the army. They condition their minds into actually believing that they are part of some cause, that they serving a country. And it's surprisingly, right now, at this point, you still got recruits joining the army so they could get the money. But at the same time, a lot of people aren't going because the actual truth is that if you join in the army, it may be that somewhere in the future they call you overseas to fight these battles for them. You know, in these battles, or they fight in WW3, which is no man's land. So when you go, you may not come back. So a lot of these white people that usually send their kids to the military, they stop sending their kids. They don't want to keep sending their kids, and a lot of our own people don't want to send their kids. But we still got a lot of our own people trying to join the military to get that money. You know, to get that money so they can be set for life. They don't have to do nothing. They just go through the little boot camp. They get their little job somewhere in the military for a couple of years. Either they hit retirement or they got enough money to start their life, and they got fundings and different, you know, benefits and all that. You know, but with that being said, yeah, it's a low number right now for the army that's recruiting. They're not recruiting at a mass level like they used to, because a lot of people, they not stupid. At the same time, they're not stupid, but at the same time they kind of are, you know. But they at least see that, okay, we got some serious problems headed our way. Why would I send my son, or why would I send my children to their death? You know, so they no longer sending them like that. They just leaving the military alone. You know, military got low body count right now. You know, but as far as I'm concerned, I doubt that when this shit kick off, when these things happen with the WW3, I doubt that a lot of our people would want to join, you know, because a lot of our people fought in all kinds of wars. They looked out for the white man. They helped the white man win a lot of these wars, and if it wasn't for the Israelites, which are the former men of war, they are the men of war, the angels of war, dogs of war. But if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't still be in power to this day. And the black man, he did everything in his power. Well, the Israelite brother, because, you know, Negroes, Mexicans, and Indians, they did everything in their power to help them. And all they did was get swept to the side, and they made white supremacy stronger. That's all that they did. You know, it should never help them at all. But they did, you know. But nonetheless, yeah, they don't have to. When WW3 kick off, that's going to be one of the major prophecies. And then you got and like I said, WW3 is fake wars with real people. Real people, fake wars. Hold on. Hurry up and get that out of here. I hate that music. He bumping it like it's hard. That shit ain't hard. Oh, get him out of here. He irritating. Don't nobody want to hear that on speaker, bro. Yeah, get him out of here. Please. Don't nobody want to hear that. But like I said, fake wars, real people. And you got these people that are dumb enough to fight for these countries that they believe in and die for these countries. And these countries don't have no interest but to throw them in the meat grinder, and they are also a part of the depopulation plan. So these people are going to war talking about, I'm going to do it for my country, I'm going to do it for my people, for my family. And these people don't even give a damn about them. They do not care about these people. And they sending them to their deaths. I'm going to be straightforward and I'm going to be honest about it. It's the raw, honest truth about what's going to happen to these people that's going to go to World War III. Whether they forced or not, you might not come back. That's how devastating, that's how big this war is going to be. And they're going to cause this war because that's the other half of the depopulation. You know, and also that in the eyes of the masses, which are the sheep, the dumb people, you know, in their eyes, they going to believe like, oh, the countries are at war. It's got to be Russia. It's got to be China, when they're all together. They're all together. They're part of the seven-headed dragon. They're all together. This is all a plan. These countries was never at beef with themselves. These countries was never sworn enemies, none of that. They was all in allegiance, and they planned this so they can use these bombs as an excuse to destroy and depopulate everybody while they go underground or they fly to another planet. It's that simple. And people, and it's gonna be surprising because it's gonna be like a movie, and you're gonna be like, damn, like people are dumb enough to believe this. People are dumb enough to go with this. People are just dumb. Like, but you gotta understand, like every movie, everybody got their role. You know, so your role may be the side character. It could be the main character. It could be the what they play call them NPC, non-playable character. You know, it can be the idiot. It can be the moron. It can be the traitor. It could be the enemy. Everybody got their roles in this movie, but it's funny how you're gonna be in the movie. You're gonna be in the movie, and you're gonna be able to see everybody for what it is, and you're gonna be able to know what's gonna happen and what's gonna be the end. And you're gonna be a character yourself, you know. But it's just funny that you're gonna be able to see this movie play out. So we're gonna finish it. It says, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by his faith, whereby ye have believed. So that right there is what's going to get you. What did it say? Escape by his works and by his faith and his faith, and where ye believe. You know, you believed in a new covenant. You had your works. You tried the best that you could to tell people about what was going on, whether they wanted to hear or forbear. You had your faith. You started praying to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You started praying to him. You know, you started worshiping the real God. You know, you tried your best to stay out of this world and stay away from certain things. you know, and that's all that you can do. But Yahweh Shem outside is saying that it doesn't go unnoticed. None of it goes unnoticed. None of it goes unnoticed. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by his faith where be ye have believed. So the Lord is visiting them and checking to see if they got belief, checking to see if they got works, checking to see if they got faith. And like I said, he can come in his own ways. He can come in strange ways. Like mine's, I hear a deep voice in my dreams, and sometimes in my dreams, you know, or dark clouds, you know, the dream about the tornadoes, or he can come in lightning, or he can come in a giant chariot, he can come giant spaceship, you know, come in giant spaceship. I'll be having certain dreams, and sometimes you can have these dreams and not even be thinking about it. The Lord don't even got to be on your mind when you go to sleep, and then next thing you know, you start having these visions. You start having these weird dreams. You start having Yahweh manifest in his own ways. He ain't got to come as no bright cloud, you know, bright shining light coming through the cloud, and he coming to talk to you and all of that. You know, he ain't got to do all of that. He ain't got to do all that. And I feel like certain events like that is for the ones that are truly the elect, you know, the special ones. You know, I want to be the elect, but, you know, if I may not be, you know, that's just what it is. But at the end of the day, that's for he can actually come like that and come talk to you. It can happen like that, you know, but he got his own manner and his own ways to show you that he's there. And that's how you go by on faith. And he'll come, he comes to visit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He come visit me, and it's not all the time. It can be very rare. It can be frequent, but he's there. And that's all that matters. So it says, shall be preserved and from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So it says, then they shall be in pitiful case, which are now have abused my ways, and they that cast them away spitefully shall dwell in torments, for such as their life have received benefits and have not known me. That's right. So a lot of these people get blessings, and the blessings come from Yahweh, and they don't get on their knees and pray. They're not thankful for the things that they got. They're not praying to the right God. You know, they're not giving Yahweh Shem Yahushai no credit. They just taking what they got and they getting on, you know, and the Lord sees that. So it says, and they have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. So you have the prophets on the street telling you to come back in, telling you to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in the name of Yahweh Shai, his son, giving you the breakdowns and all of that, telling you to come in, you know, especially the new covenant prophets telling you to come in, come into this church, come into this healing, while the doors of repentance are open, come in and be forgiven, join the new covenant, and be not judged according to the old laws. You know, be judged, be clean through the new covenant, and come in clean, and that's it, you know. But they don't care. A lot of these people wander off, and just how stupid people are. Instead of them preparing spiritually, you know, and getting ready and coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they doing whatever they want, and they continue their days like nothing is happening, bro. Meanwhile, you're looking on platforms like YouTube, platforms like Instagram, and platforms like TikTok and other platforms, and these people got so much information just pouring out. So much information, like a lot of hidden information just coming out, whether it be about food, whether it be about supernatural phenomena in the skies, seeing things that they're not supposed to be seeing on the ground, about these conspiracies that's coming true with the AI and all of that, and what they want to do with this agenda 2030. There's all kinds of things that's happening, and it just keep coming out. So it's no way that you can say that these things aren't taking place. It's no way that you can say that it's not real. It's all real. It's all happening. So it says, but they despised it. They hated it. They don't like correction. There's a lot of people like that. That's in my line of work of me being a security guard. A lot of people hate being told what to do. It hurts their ego. A lot of people don't like following the laws. A lot of people don't like respecting you because you push that law or you push the rules. You know, a lot of people despise that. They don't like being told what to do, especially the grown ones. You know, They hate that, you know. And it's the same way with the Bible. It's the same way with the prophets on the highways and byways, especially our people. They hate being told what to do. They despise that. It says they must know it after death by pain. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly will be punished, and but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, who the world is, and for whom the world is created. It says, then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak. It says, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Right? A lot of people gonna die when these times come. A lot, because Yahweh ain't gonna protect them. And it's gonna be easy to see who got a covering cast and who don't. It's gonna be easy when these wars come. So it says, as a wave is greater than a drop. It says, and he answered me, saying, like as a field is, so is also the seed, also the flowers be. It says, such are the colors also. It says, such as a workman is, so also is the work. And as the husband himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time of the world. That's true. And now, when I prepared the world, which is not yet made, even for them that dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. It says, for then everyone who obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in the world that is made are corrupted by perpetual seed, and by law which is unsearchable rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I greatly saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of a cluster and a plant of a great people. That's the Israelites. It says, let the multitude perish then, which is born in vain. So he's talking about the Israelites, the 2/3 and the 1/3. 1/3 is chosen, the 2/3 are not. So it says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor I have made it perfect. Right, a lot of work. The Israelite man got to go through a lot. He got to go through a lot of peril. He got to go through a lot of trouble. He got to go through a lot of pressure. He got to go through a lot of punishment. But like gold tried in the fire, they're supposed to come out as fine gold. They're supposed to come out strong. You know, they're supposed to come out better. So a lot of the things that a lot of an average Israelite man that don't believe in Yahweh got to deal with on a daily basis don't know that it's supposed to condition him to be a stronger man. So when these times come, he can be able to survive this, you know, and, you know, be covered, you know, come to the truth, be able to survive it and be covered and be able to deal with these times that's coming. Instead of folding under pressure, instead of always complaining, instead of hating Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and talking about it ain't no God and why would God do all of this? This is too hard and all that. Which everything that he's saying, well, I say it's not true, but they go against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They do. And this is going to keep going. It says, nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go. Oh, this is when he met, I think he met Uriel, the archangel, but we're going to stop right there. I got to get going. But yeah, he going to definitely come visit, and he going to check your works out. He going to see if you believe. He going to see if you got any faith and you're worth saving. And right now, he keeping his eyes on the hopeful elect. He keeping his eyes on the elect, and he keeping his eyes on the Israelites that want to come back. And for everybody else, he going to visit them in an entirely different way, I do believe. And it's going to be by violence, by death, by disease, by enslavement, all kinds of other manners. So while these people, you know, is wandering around looking like dumb sheep, because that's pretty much what they are, dumb sheep, blind, ignorant, don't care, wandering around the world like nothing is going to happen. When it does happen, them going to be the ones that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai get rid of. And with that, calling Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai in the name of Yahweh Shai, I'm out.